Nets #1 super fan, the illustrious, the sexual, the powerful, the omnipotent Tory Jones. All right. Haydot says, I'd rather have Ware. What if Anthony Edwards is like, I want KD? I mean, they're not willing to give up anything. They're not willing to give up what we want. The best thing that they're willing to give is Rudy Gobert and Dillingham, which I like Dillingham, but he's not a defender, so I don't know if the Suns are going to want to go that route. And what's the other thing they're linking them to wanting to give? Dante DiVincenzo. It's like DiVincenzo, Gobert, and Dillingham, they're going to have to come off some picks. I still think the Spurs are the winner if the Spurs are willing to give up. And I have been seeing Sohan and Vassell. I still like that package a little bit more, especially if Keldon Johnson gets entered into the mix. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But this is all going to end, hopefully, all this speculation. Hello! 3 rows up after the playoffs, or after the finals. You know? Well, Bragsy, you know, maybe if KD was 25 years old, 28 years old, but probably not. Me too, Haydot. I'm fine with that. I think a lot of Suns fans, honest to God, just don't watch the Spurs, haven't been watching the Spurs, don't understand how good Vassell is, don't understand what a good defender Sohan is. Also, there's this thing about the Spurs where it's like, well, they don't even win, so how good could their players be? Dude, they lose on purpose. Up until about starting now, they lose on purpose. They pull their best players. As soon as players start playing too well, like Vassell, they get pulled from the lineup because they want to lose, because they want to get Wemby, and they wanted to get your boy... white boy McJunior extraordinaire Cooper Flag. So I think it's a sneaky good trade. I just saw it before I started, Joker, but I didn't get a chance to click on it and look into it. I saw the thing for it, but I didn't get a chance to investigate it.
Turner, he makes this
Oh boy. All right, Inferno, let me check here on y'all's Discord. Wow. Maybe they're just joking, but it looks like Blop Blop is straight up crashing out in Discord. All right, let's see what this looks like here. We got Durant goes to the Spurs, Claxton, Cam Johnson, and Jeremy Sohan. Nets get Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and 2 first-rounders. Let's see here. What do the Spurs give up? They give up Vassell, Barnes, and Sohan. So I think... and then the Nets are giving up Claxton and Cam. I think, dude, honestly, Joker, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's really not. And it's not insanely far off. I've seen a lot worse trades from people than that, Joker. I feel like I've heard that the Nets are hoping to get 2 first-rounders for Cam Johnson alone. So maybe that's enough. But I mean, they're probably going to try. It just depends. Like, do they want Vassell? And I don't know if they're going to want Harrison Barnes. I'd have to talk to a Nets guy about that. But I don't hate that. Spurs are definitely going to be stingy. Spurs do things their own way, and I just can't see Brian Gwegowy fleecing the Spurs. I could see the Spurs fleecing Brian Gwegowy. I could see that all day. So, like, going into this trade expecting that Brian Gwegowy is going to fleece, I just can't go into it thinking that. If it happens, great. If it happens, that's going to be a really good sign that we got a good one, okay? That's going to be a sign that we got a GM who's about his business and might be a good GM. But I'm not going to expect that. I'm going to go into it expecting him to get fleeced. When we had to get rid of Voldemort, I should say. First thing he did was start trying to poison the well so that Suns Valley wouldn't be able to work with Suns Jam Session. Because he knew I wanted to work with them. So the first thing he started doing was going into their chat, using our name on a sock account with our logo on a sock account, and going into their chat saying terrible things about them and about, like, from us to them, making it look like we were talking shit to them, which we would never do. It would completely defeat the purpose of trying to work with them. Like, it didn't help us at all. But then he became friends with them and started going on their show. So it's like, I just feel like there's got to be this, like, impression of me that's not quite accurate at all given to Voida and them. Like, they became friends with Voldemort. They started having Voldemort on their show. So it just makes me feel like, what was Voldemort telling them about us? All lies, I absolutely guarantee. He also did it to Suns Geek, same thing, and tried to poison the well with us and Suns Geek. Same thing, would go into Suns Geek's chat, dressed up like Suns Valley, called Suns Valley Podcast, and just say terrible things to Suns Geek. And so I'm like, I'm nervous. It's like, I'm nervous to reach out to Voida because it's like, what does this guy probably think about me? Because Voldemort was just lying on me and making me look bad because he thought that would slow down our channel's growth if the other channels hated us or whatever. He's just lashing out because he was mad and, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'd be totally fine if me and Lissy disagree on things. I don't mind disagreeing at all. I find that way more interesting, you know. Well, I did hate out. Like, I would go into his, like, I would DM, because I would hear about it, right? People would tell me. They'd be like, yo, are you in there talking shit to Suns Jam? And I'm like, no, what do you mean? I'd look, and I'd see that Suns Valley was saying mean shit. It's like, so I would DM Voida. And this is when we didn't barely have any subs. So it's like, I would DM Voida and be like, hey, man, just so you know, like, that is not me. But it's like my word against Voldemort's, and he ended up becoming friends with Voldemort. So I feel like I lost out on that opportunity because he must think that I'm a bad guy and that I was trying to hurt his channel or that I was trying to, like, be a dickhead, you know? And this was also before, what up, Dusty? This was also before you could click on a name. Like if I click on Hey.0, it'll take me to your channel. It didn't used to do that. It used to be like way more anonymous. And so he was doing that shit to us. He even did it to PHNX. He'd go into PHNX under our name and say terrible things and get himself banned. And it's like, he was just lashing out. He also called my work and tried to get me fired from the place that I work at in real life. Like, that's how psychotic and pathetic Voldemort was. And probably still is, you know. What up, Charles? Hey, I said Lissy and Sundo will be on the same page. Oh, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I'd like to have both of them on, to be completely honest. You know? No, Voldemort is a former co-host of this channel from the early days, from the very beginning. Voldemort left when we had 300 subs. 295 subs, I remember. We were having a hard time breaking 300. Sons Geek gave us our first big break, man. Like, Sons Geek was so nice to us when he definitely did not have to be. You know, he came on our show when we had... Oh, dude, Michael, you have no idea how psychotic. You have no idea how psycho this dude is. No idea. Habitual, congenital liar. You know. But no, Geek came on with us, and it helped out so much, man. It put us on the map.
How do you try to slow him down?
We got to get in front of him. We can't let him play.
But Voldy ruined that relationship too, you know.
And then get our team defense in behind
Siakam finishes.
All right, Georgia steal off the Siakam make. Siakam's going to
Siakam for threesy? Ew! But McConnell with the rebound and juicy pass over to Maturin. Beautiful.
second quarter for Indiana.
Way worse, Blop. You're an angel, comparatively.
They are +7 with him off the floor. These are minutes Indiana has got.
Yeah, he told he emailed where I work and emailed my boss. He stalked where I work, emailed my boss, and told him that I fat shame women online and that they probably don't want me working there. And so she scrubbed through all of my socials and couldn't find anything like that and was like, what's going on here? And I had to tell her that I had a stalker that used to be on our show and I had to fire him because of reasons. And oh, that's tough, man. That is tough. Hand in the face.
This is about McConnell.
Justin says, Gabe, you and Sundo were boys before starting the pod. We were, man. We were. It's so funny. Like, I would say for several years before we started the pod, we would always text about the Suns. We would always talk about it. And, like, because I got him to start liking the Suns because he didn't have a team. And, you know, I always wanted to start a channel and I wanted him to be on it, but he had other things. He has a couple of YouTube channels of his own, so he was always busy with that stuff. And then our other two co-hosts, one of them I was close to too and met Sundo through. He's the one that brought on Voldemort in the beginning, and I didn't know anything about Voldemort except, you know, just like kind of knew him through people. So one piece of advice I would give you guys: if you ever get in a position to work with friends, it can work out. Like with me and Sundo, it works out because our personalities are close enough and we don't step on each other's toes. Like, we don't clash. But even with your close friends, working together is risky. You can just absolutely obliterate friendships by starting to, like, once money gets involved, you find out who your real friends are. You find out who's got an ego and who doesn't. And don't just jump into working with friends, you know? Yeah, Justin, I think the son, he's from Missouri, so he didn't have a team. And we had just gotten Booker and Book. I think it was Booker's rookie year. And about halfway, maybe by the end of that season, convinced Sundo, and he beat up one of his friends in 2K using the Suns. It was like, all right, I guess I'm a Suns fan. Hey, Dot, White, you know, you might say Aryan. Zambuki says McConnell's playing like he has bulldog ants in his pants. What are bulldog ants? What is that? In Texas, we got fire ants. Which, just be glad if you live in a state that doesn't have fire ants, all right? They are the worst. When I play, because they are the most comfortable, most wonderful shoe to hoop in. They are just perfect, man. They are perfect. Like God intended. And I really didn't think that Booker's shoes would be that good, because his first PE that came out, which I also have, feel like strapping bricks to my feet. So I'm like, they're just going to give him some basic shoe. No, they engineered those things to be perfect to hoop in. So I've got 3 pairs of books, and I rotate them when I hoop. And I like my KD shoes. They just aren't as good. They just don't feel quite as good. You know. He said Jill Stein. That's Sundo's girl. That's Sundo's girl. I don't know, Ruben. I mean, I you know, I don't like saying this because it's not really provable, but I am hooping lately. My shot is very consistent right now. I'm playing a lot. My handles are a lot better than they were a year ago or 2 years ago. I've been posting up. I know you're a big kid, but I'm 6'4", I'm 225, and I actually know how to post up now and get buckets in the post. So I'd probably eat you alive. But it would be fun. It would be fun to put that up on the channel, you know, a little 1v1 versus Ruby Tuesday. And that's the other good part, Justin, is that and that's another reason why I thought Books wouldn't be comfortable on the court, is because they're like a dual shoe. They're basketball, but they're also casual. I'm like, ain't no way there's a casual basketball shoe that's great on the court. You know. I don't know. See, Sundo's a little on the shorter side. So, like, there's really only one position for him, which would be point guard. And he doesn't play anymore, so I doubt his handles would be up to snuff. So you'd have to slide him to, like, a small shooting guard. He would basically be the guy you put in there to get fouls. You'd be like, hey, go in there and just hack people. And he'd be like, "Nuff said." What up, Frank? Frank, every time I see your name, it just reminds me of The Punisher. Because it's Frank Casavilla, and it's so close to Frank Castle. You should think about becoming The Punisher. I'm just saying. It'd be fun, Ruben. It'd be fun. But I'm an old man. All right? I'm an old man. Hit that like if you haven't already, please. And let's get into this halftime show. Let's see what we got for stats. So let's go with the Thunder first. Chet's got 15 points, 5 rebounds, looking pretty good, 4 for 7. Getting to the line, 7 for 8. J-Dub, 11 points. It's not bad. 3 for 6. Also getting to the line, he shot 7 free throws. Shea's 5 for 12. Not that great for Shea, but he is cooking a little bit. He's got a couple of blocks. He's got 3 assists. 9 points for Lou Dort, who's hot from 3. They need to find Lou Dort some more threes because he is on right now. It's actually looking really good when he lets it fly. Case and Wallace, 2 points. I don't know. I'm playing Caruso Goat over Case and Wallace in the second half a little bit more if I'm in charge of the Thunder. Other than that, Isaiah Joe hit a couple of threes. I think you need to get him in there. But let's take a look at y'all's Pacers. 13 for Pascal, 5 for 8, 2 assists, 4 ribbies, and a block. Not bad. Their leading scorer is actually Benedict Mathurin. Off the bench in 10 minutes, has 14 points. And he's only hit 1 3. Aaron Nesmith only taken 1 shot. He's gotten so quiet lately. Like I don't know. I was kind of expecting him to pop off in the finals, but guess I was wrong. Miles Turner's 1 for 5. He's hit 1 3 out of 2 shots. 1 rebound, Miles Turner. Get in the paint if you're not hitting today. Let's see. Shepherd. Okay, Shepherd's only got 4 points. I thought he was the one with 14. Shepherd with 4, but TJ McConnell, 6 points. He's got the best positive, plus minus for the Pacers, though, right now. Plus 13. Tied with Obi Toppin. But I told you guys, Toppin is really impressing me lately. And that's what's going on in this game. But like I said, Indiana just turned the tables in the second quarter. 40-28 is nothing to sneeze at. Pretty damn impressive. Sambuki says, now that I can put the name to the face and heard Ott a little bit, I feel a little better about it. Okay, yeah, I mean, I noticed a lot of people feel better after Jordan Ott's interview. He's less annoying than Brian Guegawi. I'll admit to that. He's not annoying like he is. You know, he seems professional. Yeah, I tweeted this out yesterday. I said, good luck to him. I am wishing the best for him, of course. I want him to be the greatest coach of all time. But I'm not going to crown anyone that Matt Ishbia hires until they prove it. And it's not even just about Matt Ishbia. It's just about sports in general. Like, I'm done. I feel like I finally learned my lesson this last year when I was excited for Bud after being excited for Vogel. I ain't doing it anymore. You need to give me a reason to be excited. I had to do the same thing with my college football coach. Wait until he proves something. Wait until we get to a bowl game and win a bowl game before I start championing you. Nick says Rick Carlisle is an elite coach. People forget he coached the legendary 2011 Mavs. It's true. It's damn true. You know? Yeah, me too, Brad. And remember, we were so close in those games. All those that like 9-2 streak the Suns started last season was like all those games were super close. So we didn't really know if we were just so good that we could beat anybody no matter how good they played, or we didn't know if we were bad and barely beating teams we should be smoking, you know. Justin says, Bud really getting paid $40 million in these next 4 years. It must be rough to be an NBA coach, man. I guess that's the line I should have toted. I should have just spent my whole life trying to become an NBA coach. I mean, think about how much Monty got paid from everybody that fired his ass for negligence. Mo Dizzle, they already have the control. Going into this game, the Pacers had control. This is nuts, by the way. If I was one of these cheerleaders, I'd be like, "Yo, I ain't going last. I'm not gonna be the last person you jump over. That's the person that's gonna get hit." He's adding 2 more. Guys, this halftime show is good. I approve this. I approve. Unless one of these chickies gets squashed, and they do look nervous. He just jumped over 6 cheerleaders on a bike, on a BMX bike. I don't even know why they're volunteering for this. I'd be like, if he lands on me, Pacers, I am suing so bad. What is he about to do to this one cheerleader? Oh, hell no. Hell no. You guys know that game you could play with your hand with a knife and you like stab between your fingers really quick? He's got her laid out like a starfish, like Patrick Star, and he's doing that with his bike between her arms and legs and around her head. Pass. Pass. In fact, I'd be like, go ahead and land on me so I can sue and never have to dance again. But no, I feel like the Pacers had control of this series the moment they won the first game in OKC. You guys know the saying, a series doesn't even start until someone loses at home. Well, it started game 1. And they mathematically stole home court advantage in that game. So I'm just excited to watch really good basketball, not going to lie. I had no interest in these playoffs, none whatsoever, because I was so salty and upset about how bad the Suns were, how disgustingly our season ended, that I was just done watching basketball until game 1, Knicks versus Pacers. And that game, if you remember, was so intense. That's the one where Halliburton had that shot that bounced up and hit the rafters and then dropped for a game winner. You know, that one got me back into it, and that's why we've been streaming every game since then. Mo Dizzle says, Suns' new coach is so dry. I don't care if he's dry. I just need him to be good. You know, I don't care if he curses like a sailor and throws chairs across the court like Bobby Knight. Can you win? You know, I don't need him to be hilarious. I don't need him to be sexy. I don't need anything for him except for results. I need results. Yeah, Aaron Naismith was Ray Allen that game. That's probably why I was expecting him to be a little better the rest of the series. But teams got a little whiff of that, and we're like, you know what? Let's go ahead and guard the shit out of him real quick. Is that chill? Is it chill if we face guard him real quick? My YouTube app on my phone is going crazy. It just doesn't work. Stream keeps going down on my phone. Nick says, would you let a woman be the Suns head coach? If the woman was qualified, I don't care. Don't bother me none. Got to be qualified. I wouldn't do it just to be able to say we've got a woman coach. Look at how nice of people we are. Look at how progressive and thoughtful we are. Look, I wouldn't do it for a flex. I wouldn't do it for an opportunity to make us look good to the media. But if it was the right woman, if she was clear cut, yeah. That goes for anybody. Coach Kamala Harris, 25-26 Suns head coach. She could get the job done. She comes from a middle-class family, and I don't think a lot of you understand that. And that's where I think the jokes come from. You guys don't really recognize that she's really middle class. You know? Man, it looks like I'm going to have to start making some more videos about Kevin Durant. Can you guys tell me in the comments, if I'm going to make a Durant trade video tonight, what do you guys want to know about? What do you guys think I should put in it? You know? Are you guys buying that it's got to be the Spurs, or do you think some other team is going to sneak in last second? Same, Knicks, same for a trans. If it's, like a Joanna Man situation, and just depends, if let me think of a coach. Let me think of a good coach. That, like, say Mark Jackson decides to become Markeisha Jackson. Come on down, Markeisha. I want winners. That's it. Dylan Mulvaney doesn't have that coaching pedigree. All right. Oh, Chris Stu, they're absolutely trying to fleece the Suns. The Spurs are definitely trying to fleece us, and that's what they do. You have to expect that, and you have to be willing to walk away from them because they are shrewd, they are experienced. Brian Gregory is not. So, It's risky. That's why I don't like the news. I like it and I don't like it. Okay? I like the news that we got some stuff solidified with the Spurs because I think that puts other franchises' feet to the fire. And that's going to make other franchises be like, what? We didn't even get a chance to make an offer. It's like, well, tough shit. We're already working with the Spurs, so if you want to get in on this, it better be good, which is a really good hand to play. But then I don't like it if it's true that a deal is done and that the Spurs are already getting Kevin Durant and it's a done deal, because that to me sounds like due diligence has not been done. You know? Like, I want us to take our time. We took our time with the coaching search. I want to take our time with the KD trade. I'm not in any rush. I'm not in a rush to just give him away to the Spurs because they're the first team that comes after him. let shit play out a little bit. Let teams fight each other for them a little bit. I mean, I'd do that in a heartbeat, Justin. I'd give up way more than just KD for that. And I mean, I'm kind of petty. I really kind of don't even want to deal with the Heat. The Heat are trying to sniff around and see if they can't get Durant. It's like, no. Since you guys were such great trade partners for Bradley Beal, I'm going to go ahead and hang up the phone now. Enjoy. Enjoy Tyler Herro being the best player on your team. Since you guys want to cuck us all season for Jimmy Butts. Well, Knicks, I mean, I don't know, Knicks. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know better than other people how good Cooper Flagg is. I know what I see, and I know what everybody else sees. It seems like he's... I want to say that it seems like people are saying he's just inside generational, but he could be generational, you know? Yeah, Chris, they wanted to act like they were too good for Bradley Beal. If you're too good for Bradley Beal, you're too good for Kevin Durant. Goodbye. Yeah, but we don't have a Pat Riley in the Pat Riley position, Zambuki. We've got Brian Gregory. We've got, geez, Rick, Brian Gregory. Thanks, Doris. That made a lot of sense. 6'6" and nothing but smooth. Thanks. Yeah, I haven't even seen what Doris is wearing yet. Ruby, I don't even want to know. Yeah, Zambook, I mean, I kind of crashed out during our live stream yesterday a little bit. I got a little obsessed and angry about Beal. And I decided, and I don't know, man, I'm probably in the wrong. I'll admit it, I'm probably in the wrong. But I just don't like Beal having power over the franchise. I don't like him getting the last laugh. It's like when you're arguing with somebody and they just won't like stop trying to get the last word. It's just such a pet peeve, and it's like him having power over us is insult to injury. And it's petty, it's spiteful, it could be spiting your nose, or whatever your nose to spite your face, cutting off your nose to spite your face. But I low-key want to just tell Bradley Beal, accept a trade or we're sitting you the rest of your contract here. We don't need you on the court. We need to get these young guys developed. So thanks. But just go ahead and sit at home. Or if you still want to be an NBA player for the last 3 years of your career that you'll be somewhat quasi-young, go ahead and accept a trade. But if not, we're going to steal your youth. I know that's not a great, it's not the smartest thing to do, but that's just like kind of where I'm at. That's funny, Stu. Woo! What a game, man. What a game. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us, though. Really glad we started doing these playoff live streams. Pull up y'all's chat. Justice, you think Doris has a speech impediment? I don't think it goes that deep. But yeah, that's a good point, Zambuki. I mean, Draymond Green, say what you will about him, I don't love him, but he does come off as like an honest when he's talking. I would believe that he wouldn't be giving Jordan Ott props for no reason, you know. So it's cool to have his endorsement for Ott, but most importantly, Booker's endorsement for Ott. That's what we just got to keep telling ourselves. That's what we have to remember. You know, I don't remember Brian Gregory getting any endorsements. Just imagine if the Suns hire more Michigan State people to fill out Ott's staff. I'm going to lose it. I will lose it. Yeah, but not pre-hiring, Blop. Like, I didn't think Bud got Booker's endorsement pre-hiring. That's true. It's not about Booker says he's good, so he's good. It's about Booker's happy with the decision and wants that person there. And that's what makes me happy, is that we're not stepping on Booker's toes. We're not pissing off Devin Booker and making him not want to stay. Because I do want him to stay and finish his career in Phoenix. I don't care. 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 I wants what I wants, and I yams what I yams. Well, Ruben, basically, the reason people hate Brian Gregory is because he wouldn't have gotten... Eric Ruby told me and Sundo this, and he was just so dead on. It's been like ringing in my head for 2 days. He said Brian Gregory wouldn't have gotten an interview with any other team to be their GM. They wouldn't have even put him in the interview process. But he gets ushered to the front of the line and gets the job with Phoenix because he's friends with Ishbia and because Ishbia trusts him and because he's from Michigan State. So there's no confidence in him because he didn't earn his job. He was put in for reasons that are not performance. Gorgeous move. Gorgeous move. We'll see you soon. Michael, you better not be gone too long. You're number one in the chat rankings. I don't know if you're going to be able to last. I don't even think he can be traded yet until the finals is over. Bruh. Paradise says, I want Pacers to win. Why, Paradise? Is it for the same hopium dreams that I have, that the Thunder would get involved in a Kevin Durant trade if they lose? Because I hope they add it into the mix. You know? If not, just to drive the price up. But they've got so many picks. They could give us the best deal by far, I think. You just don't like the Thunder. Why don't you like the Thunder? What is it about the Thunder that you don't like? Because I feel bad rooting against the Thunder. I'm not going to lie. I feel bad. I've got a friend who's a big-time Thunder fan, and he deserves it. I remember where he was in 21. I remember talking to him when the Suns were there, and they weren't, and now the tide has completely turned and it's his turn. I want him to win, but it's like, just for the sake of potentially boosting the return for Kevin Durant, if the Thunder lose, why wouldn't they consider Kevin Durant for a 2-year window? They're built to go back. It would be Warriors-esque, honestly. Not quite the same, but pretty damn close. pretty close. And to have him come back and bring them a title like LeBron came back and got one for the Cavs, you know? I don't know. It's a good rule to live by, Kitchen. Bro tried a front flip dunk off the trampoline. That would have been yo, these dudes are doing some crazy alley-oops off the trampoline. Not gonna lie. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he'll probably be finals MVP again and get another one of those. It'll be like, see, look what happens when you put KD on a good team. He can be the difference. I would be rooting for him, honestly. I know Kevin Durant is like mean to everybody on Twitter and stuff, and I just don't care. The way he showed up for the Suns, the way he kept his body right, the way he kept his stats right for us just makes me that much more of a fan of his. And I feel like he tried. He gave us the best that he could, but we depleted our team to get him, and we didn't have anything to help him.
The best we can.
I mentioned the first finals game in 25 years. You got Pacers alum here. This crowd was electric. What was this like?
Amazing. Amazing, man. We love playing in front of our fans. We love being here. You know, they deserve high stakes, high level basketball, and we're giving them that right now. So it's a big win for us. We can enjoy it. But we got a day in between this, so we got to be ready to go for game 4.
Pops is in the house. What's the celebration going to be like with him?
No, I'm going to go say what up, and he going to go home. He out of pocket for them jeans, but, you know, other than that, it's good to see him out here.
Tyrese, congratulations. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mike?
All right, George.
You know,
all season, this Pacer team, they've been winning.
Halliburton's just a likable guy. He's just a likable guy. It's a likable team. You know? Psycho says, I think this game decided the series. To be honest, I don't know. I can see OKC coming out and winning next game. No problem. It seems like Indiana kind of lets their guard down when they're up a little bit. You know?
Some Pacer legends, past and present.
What a game.
Four's going to come up on Friday night.
So Friday night, same time. Same Stone Cold place, same Stone Cold channel. Ivan, you don't even have 500 quarters. You're 10 years old. There's no way you just bet $500. No one believes you. Nocta said, no dog in the fight, but I'm rooting for the underdogs, Pacers. I've always been that way, and I agree with you, man. At least just go for the underdog. But on the odd chance that OKC comes out of this a loser, they gotta feel like, man, we are right there. If we just get KD back on our team, it'll be feel good, first of all, to get him to return and finish his career there. But I actually see a world in which if this Thunder team had Kevin Durant on their roster, they'd win this series. And it does look like they need a Kevin Durant to help take some pressure off of Shea. And that just helps the Suns. Like, I mean, that's my real motivation here. That's the real reason I'm over here shucking and jiving for the Pacers. It's selfish. You didn't bet 500 on the series, Ivan. Frank says, we would have to get Williams in that trade. Nah, they're not giving up J-Dub. They're not giving up anything young and too impressive. I could see the Thunder giving us Alex Caruso, which would be a shot to the heart for them. They don't want to have to do that. I think we could get Caruso. We could get Isaiah Joe, which would both be good pieces for us. And then who would the main piece in that be? Like maybe Hartenstein, but probably not. Who else is the guy that I had put together in that trade for the Suns? I can't remember. Not Wiggins. Somebody who's making more money to make the money work. But it could be a 3-team. It could be a 4-team deal. The thing is, they have so much capital, draft capital, they could make it worth our while. And I would personally love to see Kevin Durant go back to the Thunder. If he's going to leave the Suns, I'd like to see a happy, a happy ending for them together. So that could be cool. That would hurt a lot less to see KD lose if I know he's going to a good place and a place that, he's kind of reconciling with, and they deserve him. OKC deserves him. They are the ones that drafted him in the first place. It's kind of like if Booker ever left, God forbid, it'd be cool to see him come back at the end of his career and finish a Sun. Yeah, I did have Dort in that alley-oop. I did have Dort because Dort's a defender. Dort's a guy that the Suns are talking about how they want to remodel themselves after defensive players to be a more defensive team. I could see Dort, Caruso, and Isaiah Joe and some picks. I know that's not like the best return you could ever get, but the picks, okay? It's all about the picks. They have so many. David says, I don't want to lose KD. Unfortunately, brother, I think it's too far for that. It's too late to not lose KD. Pretty sure that's over. Sounds like a terrible deal for OKC. LOL, we'd take that. Why does that sound bad for them, Zambuki? I mean, think about it. You get to return next season with Shea, J-Dub, Kevin Durant, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, and a bunch of other good players like Cason Wallace. They're not losing much in that. I think that's a win. I think that's a win-win. I think both teams come out of that favorably. I got to disagree with you there, my boy Zambook. What up, Asia? Congrats on winning a membership. David, he's got statistically, he's got a good 2 years left. David, I mean, he has not started to slump on the court yet. And why it would work for them is he's under contract for 2 years. If it doesn't work out, you wash your hands of it. And it would actually be like probably a 3-year thing. They'll probably get him for 3 years. By the end of it, he can retire, or you can wash your hands of it. Get all $54, $55, $57 million back. Trust me, it works. It works. Especially because they're not giving up too much to get him. And they have unlimited picks. They could give us 4 picks, which they won't. Hypothetically, they could give us 4 picks and not even notice that any picks were missing. That sucks, David. It might be on your end. I don't know. Anybody else buffering? Yeah, he stayed shockingly healthy, Zambuki. Shockingly healthy. Justin says, would love to have Dort and Caruso with Book. Me too, and that's what we're talking about, trying to be a team like that. I think it fits. I think it fits for both teams. So, I mean, that's really just the only reason I'm rooting against OKC at all. Otherwise, I don't mind. So, I guess I'll probably get out of here now. I'm going to get to the gym with as little, as much time as I can to play some basketball myself. Going to lift, going to come home and make a video that should be out in the morning. and be looking out for that. Also, let us know, who do you guys want us to try to collab with? We had a lot of fun collabing with your boy Eric Ruby from PHNX, so we're looking to do that again. Who do you guys want us to reach out to? Some people said Voida, which is a great idea. Oh yeah, that would be great too, Asia. That would be great. I know those guys are busy though. They have to be so busy. Got to work my way up to some real streamers like them. You know, they're big time. But let's see here. We'll be back on Friday. And cannot wait to see you then. And like I said, be looking out for that video in the morning. Until next time, Thunder lose! Thunder lose! That would be fire, Mac Mall. You're right. Yeah, JL, Saul and Espo, trying to work our way up, you know? But for sure, they're on that list too. We'll see you guys Friday. Come back, David Ray. Be there Friday. Later, Frank Castle.